Hey guys, I'm just here with Moodi and we're just about to go through cycle number 2. Let the supersetting begin.
Let's get started. Okay, so exercise number 1, guys, is seated cable rows. And what I want you to pay attention to is I always see people reaching forward to grab the cable. So reach forward, Jad. So the problem with this is to pull the weight back, you're going to be using your spine and you're going to be putting your spine in a vulnerable position. That's not what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our feet on those pads first. So we've got the support and the leverage to be able to reach forward and grab the cable, posture up, and then start rowing. Now you'll notice that the technique that Yaz is using, we're doing 20 reps for the first set, by the way, to really hit those slow twitch fibers. So you'll notice that her spine is still where it is. Even though the shoulders are rolling forward to maximize the stretch in the lats, the shoulders, the actual spine is not moving anywhere. It's still where it is, stationary. So the shoulders rolling forward can sometimes create the illusion of the spine moving, but in actual fact it's not. And the lower that you aim with this, guys, the more you're going to hit your back. What you want to be focusing on as the cable comes in is lifting the chest, bringing your scapula together to maximize what's called that isometric contraction, and that will create detail in your back. Ladies, if you want to look good in a backless dress, this is what you should be looking for. Perfect technique. So 20 reps. Just to flush enough blood in there and warm up. Remember, warming up is more important than stretching in the very beginning of a workout. Stretching is more important afterwards. It can make you a little bit more prone to injury if you overstretch and expose your muscles to areas or ranges of motion that they're not really ready for or primed yet. Now, I see so many people doing the push-up wrong. If you do correct push-ups, you shouldn't be able to do that many, irrespective of how strong you are. Now, if you feel that your triceps are getting more of a workout than your chest is, that could be for 2 reasons. Your triceps are underdeveloped and it's a secondary muscle that's involved. You cannot push up without using your triceps, so don't be discouraged if you're feeling tenderness or soreness in the tricep after this. If you really want, guys, if you really want to make this difficult and you want to really hit your chest, I'm going to push Jasmine now. She's going to get on her toes. And I'm going to get her to go a little bit wider with her hands. And instead of her fingers pointing straight, I'm going to get her fingers to point in. That's it. Now notice automatically her elbows start to rotate out. Do one for me. That neutralizes the tricep. It's a lot harder because you don't have the assistance of the tricep. That's purely the chest working. So you can turn the push-up, which is considered a compound movement, into an isolation exercise by simply moving your fingers in. I'll make you do one more and then you can have a break. Moving on. Okay guys, with the lat pull down, I don't want you to tuck yourself too far in, because I'll give you an example of what not to do. You tuck yourself too far in, tuck yourself all the way in, Jud, and then to bring the bar down, you have to lean back and get your body out of the way, otherwise that bar is going to hit your head. However, recent research and ECG analysis has told us that the electromagnetic padding that goes on the back, and a study of how much muscle fiber recruitment there is, showed us that keeping the back absolutely straight is much more effective at incorporating all the back muscles. So I'm going to get Yasmin to slide her bottom out a little bit, and that will allow her to stay postured and bring the bar down below the chin. Now I see a lot of people going all the way down. I see this very often in the gym. And I see a lot of people coming with the bar. I'm going to show you what not to do, is bring the bar all the way down here. Now this here is incorporating too much arm movement, unnecessary. Just here is fine, just as long as the bar gets under your chin, perfect. So the posture that Jasmine is showing us is textbook. The scapula contracting at the top. She is completely switching off to initiate the actual movement, like the lifting of the weight, using her back. So she's not using momentum, not swinging, not rocking. And if you notice from here, from this point, she's initiating the movement with her back muscles, and that's what's working. Now the arms are going to get involved because you can't pull or row anything without using your arms. However, if you've got weak forearms, you may opt for the thinner bar. I like this bar because it really gives your forearms a good workout and improves your grip strength. And it's ideal to follow a row with a pull, because the row is driving so much blood into the muscles, and all you want to do is stretch that fascia out and drive more nutrients via the blood into the actual tissue itself. And that's what we're doing here. If I put my hand on her back, I can feel her scapula contracting. The scapula is coming closer and closer together at the bottom of each rep, and that's exactly what we're after. Perfect form. Nice workout. Nice. So we'll move on to the next exercise. Okay, the chest press. Now, you may think that you have to use a bench press to work out your chest. We are training for aesthetics. We are training for a beach body. We are not trying to break our PBs or break any records, and we definitely don't want to injure ourselves. So if you want to isolate the muscle, there's nothing like the pin-loaded chest press machine. So she's going to initiate the lift. Japan's initiating the lift using her chest. You notice how she keeps her shoulders nice and low, away from the ears. Because as you start to shrug, as it starts to get difficult, the body naturally starts to climb up with everything that you do. Whether you're doing a pull down, whether you're doing barbell curls, the shoulders start to come up and creep up. Why? Because the trapezius is such a strong muscle that it tries to get involved in everything. And Javin's technique is on point because she's not allowing that to happen. And notice that she's not allowing the plates to hit and have a rest, because at the end of the day, hypertrophy, which is building muscle tone and expanding the muscle fibers, involves time under tension. So she's keeping the muscle under tension at all times, keeping the elbows nice and low to minimize the recruitment of the triceps, because you don't want to overly work your triceps when you're doing chest, because we've got a separate exercise for that just for you. Okay guys, there are a couple of different variations to the chin-up. Now I've asked Jasmine to go wide with her grip because that activates, and this is due to an electromagnetic study that, you know those things that those pads that they put on the human body to measure the activity of the muscles? Well, that study was done on the back with a variation of different grips. And this particular grip activated, according to this study, 17% more of fiber recruitment in the back when you went wide grip. It's a lot harder than going narrow because you don't have the assistance or as much assistance as the biceps. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Jasmine to slide her knees back a little bit on the padding, and instead of going directly up, driving at an angle towards the machine. That way she can get better movement of the scapula, bring the scapula together, drive the elbows back, lift the chest up on the way in, and really recruit these muscles here. That's it. So she's moved her knees back, she's climbing up at an angle, pulling up at an angle, incorporating more back muscles. And believe it or not, the other EMG analysis that was electromagnetic study that was done on the core, not just the back, concluded that this particular exercise recruited more of the core than an actual sit-up. It's phenomenal. So, and guys, if you want to do this without the assistance, you can simply take the seat away, you can neutralize the seat and just use your own body weight. But it's amazing that this particular exercise actually uses your core more than the sit-up. And it's not totally surprising because you cannot stabilize your body without your core. If you weren't using your core during this movement, you would be swinging and using momentum all over the place. So this is a great ab workout. You get two for the price of one, really. You're getting a lot of a lot of secondary muscles involved with this particular exercise, and I call it the bench press for the back.